Hi guys, my name is Ilona and I will go today out to the harbor and check out some cool spots for our winter concept. We're getting ready in good time since you can see it's still very sunny, but let's go out and see what we find. I feel like sometimes people think that the harbor is only nice to spend time in the summertime. So we really want to make it clear for people that it's a different experience, but it's still a very cool thing to do. So we want to be ready beforehand, so when the winter actually starts, then we will know where to go and how to give the best possible experience for people. So next we're going to see if this culture tower project work as a stop. So it's this old bridge over the harbor of Copenhagen that connects to Christianshavn, and they have these old like watchtowers on top, but there's a little cafe and a showroom up there. They have like different exhibitions sometimes about the history of the harbor or something else, and pop-up restaurants and all kinds of cool things. And I think that's exactly like something that we want to show people. I think this is a really cool stop in that sense. Kind of cool. This is where Noma had like a pop-up restaurant last year. So we're now in Christianshavn, and it's definitely one of my favorite neighborhoods. It's like historical, but at the same time it's a very local neighborhood with a lot of city life and so on, even though it's quite close to the more touristy city center. It's not open today, it looks like. I've been to this place once for a coffee, and it's really nice. It's like little rooms inside, and you have a really good view over the harbor. And last time they had also a photo exhibition. Sometimes they have like tapas nights and pop-up restaurants, and I think that's why they're closed today. They told me before that they are quite busy arranging these pop-up restaurants. So I think we have to come back another day. Really nice location. It's a historical and has definitely some hidden gem factor to it as well. Yeah, I really like this one actually. Now we're making our way towards Scandinavians. Here it's kind of a new neighborhood. We have a lot of nature also. That's on the other side. It's like a nature reserve. But at the same time, they're building a lot of new buildings around here, and there's a lot of cool innovations. Behind here is a Scandinavians school, and as you can see, it's like an interesting architecture. When you think about a school, you don't usually think that it's like a place by the water and really like immersed into the nature around. I think it's a really cool example of kind of like the future of architecture in northern cities, and especially Copenhagen, and how children learn to be together with the nature even though they grow up in a city. I think it has some potential. It's definitely a hidden gem when it comes to tour on the water. I don't think a lot of people have been here on a boat. But the thing is that it's not very easy for us to reach in the winter, because we of course want our guests to be warm, so we'll have roof on, or like a cover on the boat. And depends a little bit what we can figure out to do here. I think it's important that the guests get to kind of like experience new parts of Copenhagen, because when you come to the city, it's so easy to just get stuck in the city center and think that this was it. But I think Copenhagen has so much more to offer, even if you're a temporary local and staying here for a few days. And I think people really like to discover something off the beaten path. And I really enjoy giving people that kind of experience to make them be enthusiastic about their surroundings and just finding something completely new. So we're now gonna go to Blocks. I think this might work as a stop, because it has a lot of information about the city of Copenhagen, and it's a big part of this kind of new development that is going on and so on. The bridge over here is actually also really new, and you'll see a lot of people biking over it even in the winter time. So there's a lot of things that will give you like a better understanding of what kind of city Copenhagen is, and especially how it kind of transforms during the summer and in the winter to a different type of place. So there's like a very strong design aspect on everything that people do in Copenhagen and in people's lives, and that's why I think DAC, Danish Architecture Center, is also an interesting place to visit to get a little bit of a better understanding on what people do. And especially in the winter, because now it's summer, of course, so a lot of people are enjoying their time outside, but when the days get shorter, people spend more time in museums, in theaters, in cafes and restaurants. And so DAC is definitely one of those places. Maybe lacks a little bit of the hidden gem factor, I would say. It's a place that anyone could visit, but cool place. We're gonna go and check out the Black Diamond. It's the National Library. I've actually written some of my final thesis here while I was studying, but I've never really went in just to see the building, more just to kind of like do some work, which it's really good for, but let's check out if there's something more interesting about it as well. So this new building transforms into an old one. So you have kind of like this cool idea about old and new together, which really portrays itself very well all over Copenhagen. What I think what we could do here with guests would be, we could explore the library, we could maybe have a cup of coffee. There's also a good stop for using a toilet, and it's a nice building. Of course, this view here is also quite nice to see. We have the Circle Bridge on the other side. Rarely it opens, but sometimes it's quite cool if you get to catch that. Oh, there's a Hey Captain boat coming right now. It's a really cool way to see the harbor and see the life down there, people walking and biking and kayaking, and all the boats coming through the Christianshavn Canal as well. So I think it's actually really cool to see from this point of view. So we've just seen the Black Diamond, the National Library, as well as Blocks, the new Danish Architecture Center. And I think there's some things about these buildings that might be cool to see on a tour in the winter. But I think we still have more to explore and to find something even cooler that you can't get to without us. So that's kind of like what I want to find, something very special. Now we're gonna see something a little newer and something that we already do as part of our 2-hour tour. But I think we will also need to find like a new angle for that stop. So we're now going to the northern harbor to Nordhavn. So I just wanted to come here today to check out this new thing. It's an on-the-water activity house. So they have saunas here. I think you can maybe just see them through the windows here. Yeah, and a lot of people are swimming and really just enjoying the area. This has been built here last week so that people can also enjoy this part of the harbor in the winter. This building is the silo, and I'd like to go in here. It's an exhibition on the development of Nordhavn and this area in general. This is the second time I'm trying to get in and it's closed. But if we will figure out what their opening hours are, I think it could be a cool stop on the way, in the winter especially. The building itself is quite cool. It's an old grain silo that around 5 years ago was covered with this metal sheeting and made into like a really three-dimensional apartment building. On the very top there's a cocktail bar and a restaurant, so that's a possibility as well. I think it's really cool. On my way back to the base camp at Ofelia Plads, I've spent now several hours here in the harbor, going really deep into the areas that I haven't seen before. It's been great. I think I've got a lot of cool information and inspiration, but I think I'll still need to do a little bit more brainstorming and exploring before we launch our winter product in October. But all in all, it's been a great day. Thanks for being with me on the water today.